Top 5 winter bass fishing baits you need in your tackle box. That's the topic for today's video, guys. My name's Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to the channel. Alright guys, so let's talk about our top 5 baits that every bass angler needs in their tackle box. There's a lot of different baits that we could go over, but I'm going to share my 5 that are always tied on when I'm going bass fishing during the winter. So let's get straight into it. Remember guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Alright, so first one, pretty simple one, but it catches a lot of fish in the wintertime. Crankbait. I like a couple different ones. I like the Spro RK Crawler. It's a really good crankbait in the wintertime. I normally try to keep mine crawfish pattern related this time of year. That's just my preference. Seems like I catch a lot of fish on the crawfish patterns over, say, a shad pattern. And I'm not saying that the shad won't catch them. I just seem like I catch a lot more on those. Like I said, the RK Crawler and a wiggle wart. I like the wiggle wart. I don't have any of the original ones. This is just the ones you can buy now. I know the original ones were a lot better, but it has a really good action to it, and they catch a lot of fish. So a wiggle wart and an RK Crawler, really good cold wintertime crankbaits. Next one is we call them around here silver buddies. They're called blade baits, whatever you want to. I pour my own, from Do It Molds, but you can buy the Demiki ones. I know Megabass makes some. There's a lot of other different companies. I think 6 Cents makes them, but it's basically a blade bait is all it is. I put just the clip on it right there. Gives it just a little bit more action, a little more vibration. You know, they all come with them, but that's one I painted up in like a sexy shad color. You can see there. So it's a good bait. I catch a fish on it. It works really good. The way I fish that bait is I'm going to throw it out, and on those points, flats, different things like that, where those bass are staged up looking for shad, I'm going to let it hit the bottom, and I'm just going to yo-yo it back to the boat. Just yo-yo it back. And man, these put out a lot of vibration, and they're really good bait for winter bass fishing. Okay, now let's talk about our next bait. Next one is going to be a swim bait. Now I know you guys have seen on the video I throw swim baits in the wintertime a lot. So I've got 2 different ones that I'm always going to have tied on, and it's always normally going to be some type of Kitech 2.8, 3.3. I'm usually not going to go any bigger than that this time of year in the wintertime. So this is a really big heavy head. These come up to like ½ ounce, but a lot of times I'm fishing pretty deep for some fish in the wintertime. But I also will have one tied on. You can see here there's a different head. I don't have a swim bait on it, but just in case I need it, it's a shallower one, so I can fish shallow, maybe 45-degree banks and stuff like that. Like I said, this ½ ounce sinks really fast, but that's for deeper water. Like I said, the other one is for shallower water, and I just like to always have 2 tied on. It's just personal preference. A good Kitech swim bait, you can't beat it in the wintertime. They just flat out catch fish. All right, the next one is going to be my tight line. So here are my gulp minnows that I buy. You can buy these literally at Walmart, anywhere that you want. I try to buy them in the tub, but I always buy a few packs and just keep them sealed up just in case I run out of the tubs. You can see here I've got it tied on. One little thing that I've always told you guys about on this channel is always tie that loop knot with this tight line. It's an 1/8 ounce head with a 3-inch gulp minnow, and this bait is a great bait for winter bass fishing. It's probably my favorite bait to throw all winter long. 90% of the time I'm probably throwing this bait. It's just the way it is. 4-pound test, 1/8 ounce head on a 3-inch gulp minnow. I throw smelt pretty much exclusively, the color smelt. So basically the way it is, you throw it out, make like a 45-degree cast on those slow sloping banks, and you just bring it back, and you're just shaking your rod and barely turning the reel. Now I've got a bunch of videos on my channel showing how to fish this, so if you guys are not familiar with it, go check those videos out. It's a tight line, it's what it's called. I'm not sure if it's called something else in some other parts of the country, but that's what we call it here in my part of the country. All right, so my 5th bait that I'm always going to have tied on is going to be some type of Damiki style, jig head minnow, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a bunch of different names out there for it. This is that Yum sonar minnow. I've got it just on a 1/4 ounce head. I'm always going to have maybe a couple different ones tied on. So here's a different one. You can see this one's got a loop knot on it. Sometimes I play around with that to see if that really makes a difference. I believe that it does. On certain instances, if you're swimming it over them, and if you're just dropping it on them, I really don't know that that has much of a difference. But a Damiki is a really good bait this time of year, because a lot of our fish will come out of 40-50 foot deep. That's really my top 5 baits that I'm always going to have tied on, guys. My Swimbait, my crankbaits, there's the 2, the RK crawler and the wigglewort, and then my Bladebait, my Tightline, and the Damiki jig head minnow, whatever you want to call it. Just a really good bait for really good baits for wintertime bass fishing. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, and don't forget, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Till next time, this is Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures. Thanks for watching.